Welcome. I am Dr. Patrice Berry. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and here I share educational information on a variety of topics. I hope you all had a great holiday. This is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. For anyone joining live, thank you so much. If you can let me know where you're joining from as you join the stream, and then thank you to everyone in advance who watches on replay. I watched this documentary over the holiday. Tyler Perry, I've been a fan, so I'm going to be honest. So I have been a fan. I'm still critical because there have been some stories, some things that I've heard that didn't quite sit right with me based on the way it was reported. But overall, I really have appreciated his content. And it was interesting because I watched it with my husband, who has a very different perspective than I have. And he was very critical. He didn't really enjoy the movies that much. There was one in particular that really rubbed him the wrong way. And in the movie, they talk about how a lot of women resonated with his stories, resonated with the things that he said. I am going to play the trailer for anyone that hasn't seen it. Please watch. It's over on Amazon Prime. It's called Maxine's Baby, the Tyler Perry story. So let's watch that trailer real quick.
What filmmaker has had 5 movies open #1 at the box office in the last 4 years? Spielberg? Tarantino? Scorsese? No. This record belongs to Tyler Perry.
How do you feel right now, sir?
My problem with a lot of things in life is I float above it. That's just from childhood, that's from abuse. So every moment it's like you're okay, you're safe. It's just emotion, it's just feeling, it's love.
So I will pause and talk about things as we go. So that part where he talked about even in successful or good moments, he still would pull away and he would feel like he was above it, that he wasn't in his body, that he wasn't in those moments, even with some of the negative or even with positive things. Because early childhood in particular, like things had been very, very traumatic for him. He talks about experiencing childhood physical and then also witnessing domestic violence between really what his dad did to his mom. And he is going to talk about forgiveness. And that can so everybody has a different version because even I forget if it was on this video or on another one, but someone commented that they didn't forgive, but what they did do is they let go of the pain in order to move forward. And for me, that's how I view forgiveness. And even in some of because we're going to play an audio of one of my favorite monologues that Madea does, where she kind of talks about forgiveness a little bit, that forgiveness is not reconciliation. Forgiveness doesn't mean that I don't seek justice. It doesn't mean any of those things. And so let's keep going.
Emmett Perry Jr. was his birth name. He changed his name to Tyler Perry because he had an estranged relationship with his dad.
I just could not understand how this man could look at me and hate me with such passion.
He had some horrific experiences that ultimately led to the characters he created and the imagination that he had.
We were so broke. We used to share burgers and talk about these great dreams that he had.
I had all these people tell me what I would never be. Nobody said what I could be.
The thing that's amazing about Tyler is he broke every rule.
A studio executive said to him, "Black people don't go to the movies." They were just wrong on every count when it came to Tyler.
Tyler was making hit after hit, and finally, people had to wake up.
My mother said, "Don't you ever let anybody tell you who you are. You know who you are."
I can't watch it without cringing.
I think he crossed the line.
What I will not do is change because some critics think it's not art.
Do not play him small because he is not just some lucky Negro turned black man. There was no denying the talent and the power of Tyler Perry.
He paid attention to an audience that people ignored. In the middle of all of this success, I'm dealing with my mother slowly dying. I couldn't find my way out of it.
Everything that went wrong in your life is what made everything go right.
For this moment to happen for me is beyond anything I could have ever imagined.
He was resilient. He fought the demons, the dream snatchers, the haters. People saying you're not going to become, I have to become. And he became.
Tyler, I just want to tell you how blessed I am to have a son like you.
All right. So, like I said, it is a very, very powerful story. Hello, Phoenix. Hello, Laura. Hello, Christina B. Hello to everyone else. Really, I highly recommend the documentary. There are trigger words, there are trigger warnings. They don't go he goes into some detail, the things that stuck out. So there are going to be some spoilers. There's a big spoiler that I wasn't aware of. So if you want to watch it and then come back but anybody that doesn't like spoilers, I'm going to say some things. He talked about just the criticism that he received and the stories that he told in a way of, because sometimes people thought that he was demeaning the Black community or that he was telling things in a way that was harmful. And overall, I think because all the characters that he used, all the stories that he told, I could really relate. Like, I know of a family member or I know of somebody that kind of acted that way. Now, because it's theater, he's going to play it up and it's going to be a little bit more. It's like Medea's way over the top. But during the documentary, you hear him talk about how his aunt, after his father, I think Tyler Perry was around maybe 5, or he was a young child, and his father harmed him so bad that his aunt saw, and she went and threatened his father with a pew pew with it. Yeah. And um and that was something that Medea would do. Like there were times that Medea would, she was not about like you're not going to harm a child. That is not discipline. And that's almost exactly what his aunt said. And you hear just about how on his journey he finds out a few years ago that his father is not his birth father, and his father probably knew that. And because I didn't realize he had other siblings. I think he has like 2 sisters, or I think he has some other siblings. And I really appreciate the privacy. So even in the documentary, you learn a lot of things, but it's not in a the only example I can think of right now is Jada Pickett Smith. Like, I feel like she like it's trauma dumping, and I don't want the information because she doesn't seem healed yet in my personal perspective. It seems like there's still a lot of pain, there's still a lot of hurt. It seems like she's still working through a lot of those things. And for me, you don't really talk about it until you're more healed, and you can talk about it from a healed perspective versus talking about it from a wounded perspective. So when I share my story, not with my therapist. So with my therapist, there is no such thing as trauma dumping in therapy. No such thing as trauma dumping in therapy. And so like if that was so if Jada was my client, please say all the things, do all the things, we're going to work on it. But as just this coming out in media, and to me, there's not a lot of appreciation for how the things affect family. So during the documentary, you will see the back of his son's the back of his son's head. You never ever see his face. And I mean, Tyler Perry, he's a billionaire, and like I think that's to protect his family. Now there are pictures out there. I Tyler Perry probably didn't approve them. It seems like Tyler Perry and the wife, sorry, not the wife, the mother of his child, they are pretty private about him, which, because I'm so private about my child, so I posted on Thanksgiving So we were out and about, and my son and I, we took a really great picture, and I really wanted to share it with the community, but I'm not comfortable sharing my son's face with thousands of people. And so what I did was I put a little emoji over his face. And I could just appreciate the fact of him protecting his family, protecting those closest to him. And he still takes care of his father. So this father that did all these things, that like just says all these horrible things, he still protects him. Like he still takes care of him, not quite protects. He still takes care of him financially. And wow, because I don't know if I could do that. I'll be honest, because like it looks like his father lives, and I'm saying father because this is the man that raised him. That is the language he uses referring to his father, even though it's not his birth father. Like because his birth father in no way shows him any kind of respect. And his birth father was abandoned very at a very young age and was given to a 14-year-old to raise. And what she would do is she would put him in like a bag and tie it to a tree, and she would hit hit him. And it's incredibly painful. Like there's a lot. Like and so he goes into, so he there are some trigger, like there he does go into some details. And but what he did is, knowing what was behind the monster helped him heal himself. Because as a child, he's thinking, how could this person not love me? How could he? Because like he didn't do, like, I mean, he's here, however he's here, and that's between like his mom and her husband. But like, you don't punish the child for this. And he seemed to take things out on Tyler. And I also didn't fully realize that he had changed his name legally, that he was a junior, and that he changed his name. I didn't realize that. So I first heard about Tyler Perry when I was in undergrad, and a friend of mine told me about these plays. And I'm sorry, Tyler, we might have, because we were poor college students. I don't know if it was the real it might have been a bootleg copy. I'm so sorry if it was a bootleg. I'm just being honest. It might have. I don't know if it was the real thing, because so we would watch the tapes. We would sometimes fast forward through the songs. The songs were really, really long. Okay. The songs were really long. And so sometimes we would fast forward through them. But I love, so the Medea, it was actually, they talk about the fact that it was an accident for Medea to kind of become the star. And his plays failed. His plays failed time and time again, to the point where he was homeless, living in his car, sharing burgers. And somebody said, do one more show. And he did it, and then somehow the momentum, things picked up, and now he sells out arenas, and like people were couldn't wait to see him. And I also appreciate how he protects his son. There is a statement in the documentary where his son asked him why he works so hard, and what he says to his son is something to the effect of, I want to create a good life for us. And I do hope, this is just me as a psychologist, me as a person, I do hope that he takes time to rest, because Tyler Perry, he does thing after thing after, like I think he might have like 4 or 5 shows in production. He probably has multiple movies in production. He has shows on the OWN network, on BET. He was in talks to possibly purchase BET. That deal fell through. And all of these things kind of happened and went on for him. And something that came out in the documentary that I appreciated, because there's a lot of waste in Hollywood. So what often happens, so when people are filming a movie, they might film the same scene 12 or 18 times or 20 times, or they might film the same scene multiple ways. And as the director is filming, the director isn't completely sure of which way they want it to go or which take they're going to use. Tyler Perry, like he's the way his brain works, which I can appreciate because he cuts out the filler. He cuts out like the mundane, the stuff that really doesn't have to be there. And what he does instead is he knows that was the take. We don't have to do it again. Like he ends up editing things and making the process super smooth. And so he'll film a movie in like 3 or 4 days when normally like it'll take months to normally film a movie, and it'll take like months to then edit it. Well, his editing process, because he pretty much knew what he wanted to do, it didn't really do that. And Phoenix, yay, same Dr. Barry. When I see someone that completely builds themselves through rough beginnings, I really hope, man, I hope they're taking time to smell the roses. Exactly. Because it seems like he work. And he talked about that before he forgave his dad, he wanted to be successful, to be like, haha, like in spite of him. And instead, like now that he's healed, it's not all about proving his dad wrong. It's not all about living a life kind of in spite of his father. That's my interpretation of what he said. So Christina, I don't know what an MP3. So you're talking about like a MP3 player, or Tyler Perry's? Is that a personality thing? I don't know that. What does MP3 mean? I do want to play another clip, and I'm just gonna I'll share the screen. So let me share my screen. Just give me 1 second to because this is one, I believe this is the I Can Do Bad All by Myself.
I thought I could
I'm almost positive this is the I Can Do Bad all by myself. And this is someone else kind of put some effects and things. I don't know how else to put it. Someone else kind of put some effects on it. I might pause it as we go because this is one of my favorite scenes ever. I'm almost positive it's the I Can Do Bad all by myself play. And I have a link to the video that I'm playing down in the description.
I thought I could change him, Madea.
Can't change people, son. I don't know what make folk think they can change somebody. You can't change nobody. That is a waste of time sitting around trying to change somebody.
Madea,
huh?
I was trying to celebrate my divorce.
That ain't the way to do it.
Madea, now, I know Vanessa wasn't the best girl.
She was the worst, absolute worst. You couldn't have got worse if you had prayed and said, God, send me worse. Bless me with worse, oh Father.
I thought I could change him, Madea.
Can't change people, son. I don't know what make folk think they can change somebody. You can't change nobody. That is a waste of time sitting around trying to change somebody. Maya Angelou said it best. She said, if someone shows you who they are, believe them. You know what that means? If it walk like a duck and quack like a duck, then guess what?
It's a duck.
Aflac.
What up, Madea? I didn't see any of this coming.
Don't sit there and tell that lie.
I didn't.
God always send you a sign. Don't sit there and tell that lie. That little voice in the back of your head that was telling you to pay attention, that was God's way of trying to get you to pay attention. And I would listen to that voice. I would stop what I'm doing. I remember I was asleep. It was 4:30 in the morning. That voice said, get up. I said, what's up? What's up? What's up? Man walked in the house. I said, where the hell you been? He said, working late. He worked at the bank. I said, you been at the bank till 4:30? No, he said, yeah, we had a night audit. I had to be there all night long. I said, that makes sense. I tried to go back to sleep. That voice wore me out. So I had to get up and ask some more questions. See, when something don't sit right with you, you're supposed to keep asking questions. And I'm so good, I will get to question number 387. 2 months later, jump back to question number 8 to see if I get the same answer I got back then. That's why I tell people, ain't no sense of you sitting there lying, tell the truth. Because if you tell one lie, you got to tell 20 more to cover the one you told. That's why I tell folks, don't sit there and tell a lie. That just make you, when you lie to people, that make them doubt everything you ever say from that point on, or everything you ever said. May as well just tell the truth. And if you ever want to know if a man is cheating, ask him to give you one thing. If he give it to you, he ain't cheating. Ask him for, whew. I was getting ready to tell you, but I can't. I wanted to, but who I am is conflicting with this dress I got on.
Okay, so that part right there was one of my absolute favorite, and so that was not scripted. So Tyler Perry, he is just hilarious, and he has these scripts in his head. In the movie, they also talked about he originally wanted to be a preacher, but he gave the way that he was supposed to give the sermon, it was supposed to be like dry and like no theatrics. It was just supposed to be like a trial sermon, and he failed. But like it was probably a phenomenal sermon, but like the person that was overseeing it was like, nope, preaching is not where you're supposed to go. He does have a lot of religious themes, a lot of religious messages, and I remember back in the day because he cusses in his plays, like he says curse words, he like smokes, he talks about a lot of things. Now, we all know Christians that curse. We all know, but there were people that were really, really judgmental and that questioned some of his faith, that questioned a lot of those things. And so, but this moment here where he breaks character and you hear Tyler Perry for a second, it's no longer Madea. That one right there was just like, so I have seen this play over and over. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I really, really, the plays had a different feel than the movies, and that's why he would still do the plays. He would still do a lot of that. I think he got tired of being in the dress, and he still does it from time to time. And he's done some other things with himself, with playing male roles, playing himself. But let's keep it going.
No. Madea strong, but she can't fight this player. I'm sorry. No, hell no. No, Tyler spoke up this day. Come on, bro. Come on. Too far. You're going too far. When a man be cheating, you can catch him because they get themselves away. Men just, I don't understand. Men just always get themselves away just by doing dumb stuff. But a woman, them things is slick. Personally, I think women cheat more than men. Oh, they done got quiet now. And the reason they get away with it is because, they never think, the men never think that they woman to cheat on them. But that's a fool who think that. Never underestimate your opponent. Them things is slick. I know a woman that was married for 38 years. She was so good she had an affair for 42 and he didn't know it. He died thinking he was the only one. But I found out the way to tell if a woman cheats. If you want to know if a woman is cheating, it's really simple. If you're the kind of man that don't do what you're supposed to do, you're always doing something wrong, and she walking around smiling, singing, it ain't because she happy with Jesus alone. Jesus has some help putting that smile on her face. You hear me, Sonny? Pay attention to the voices. They'll lead you in the right direction.
I hear you, Madea. What am I supposed to do now?
Get up and go on with your life. It's all right to sit around, be depressed for a minute, cry about it, do whatever you have to, but don't stay there too long. Get up and go on with your life. This is what I learned in all these years on this earth. If somebody want to walk out of your life, let them go. Especially if you know you done everything you can do, you done sat around and been the best man or the best woman you could be, and they still want to go, let them go. Whatever they're running after, they'll see what they had in a minute, but by then it's going to be too late. Because half these people you be sitting around crying about it, worry about 2-3 years from now, you ain't going to even remember their last name. How many times you done seen folks somewhere, you be like, what the hell was I thinking? I done been there, I be like, what was wrong with me? What was I going through? I must have been lonely as hell to hook up with you. Let folks go, son. Some people come in your life for a lifetime, some come for a season. You got to know which is which. And you're going to always mess up when you mix them seasonal people up with lifetime expectations. You can't, they got people that...
That was seasonal people with lifetime expectations. I'm telling you, like this one clip from this movie, from this play, like I just like it is so powerful. I haven't shared it in a while with any kids or teens, but it is really, really powerful because, and he's about to get into the different metaphor of a tree. And I love, y'all know, I always have like a tree normally in my background. I love the idea of the roots, of getting to the root of issues, but he's going to go into a tree metaphor.
And got married with people they was only supposed to be with for a season. And then got married to people they only supposed to be with for a season and wonder why they having so much hell in their life. That was a person that was supposed to come and teach you one thing. You didn't know it, so you just fell in love. And now you wonder why, hey, you ain't got no peace, no way you go. No. Listen, I put everybody that come in my life in the category of a tree. Some people are like leaves on a tree. The wind blow, they over here. They unstable. Blow the other way, they over here. Ain't nothing. Season change, they wither and die, they gone. That's all right. That's some people, most people in the world are like that. They just there to take from the tree. They ain't there to do nothing but take and give shade every now and then. That's all they can do. But don't get mad at people like that. That's who they are. They ain't gonna never be nothing. That's what they put on this earth to be, but be what they are, a leaf. Some people are like a branch on that tree. You gotta be careful with them branches too, because they'll fool you. They'll get there, make you think they're a good friend and they're real strong, but the minute you step out there on them, they'll break and leave you high and dry.
They're low and wet.
But if you find you 2 or 3 people in your life that's like the roots at the bottom of that tree, you are blessed, because that's them the kind of people that ain't going nowhere. They ain't worried about being seen. Don't nobody have to know that they know you. They ain't got to know what they're doing for you. But if them roots wasn't there, that tree couldn't live. You understand? And they ain't got a tree can have 100 million branches, but only a few roots down at the bottom to make sure it get everything it needs. I'm telling you something. When you get you some roots, hold on to them. But the rest of them, let it go. Just let it go. Let folks go.
It's not always that easy.
Ain't nobody said it was gonna be easy, but it'll get easy when you learn how to love yourself. When you get to a point in your life where you look at people and you go, okay, wait a minute, you or me, you will make a decision. Because when you telling folks to do something, and I never throw nobody away. I've never in my life just thrown nobody would just say, look, don't bother me no more, don't talk to me. I've never done that. What I do is I tell you, say, look, this thing you doing right here, that's gonna cause a problem. You need to fix that, because if we're gonna be friends, we're gonna be cool, you gotta fix that.
And that's a boundary. So saying like, hey, if we're gonna be cool, then you need to, hey, like this isn't okay with me. And so like, I think his movies were some of the first where I heard people talking about boundaries like this. And he didn't use that word, I don't think, but I very clearly see it now as setting boundaries and how important that is. Because sometimes in relationships, we kind of value people that sacrifice or that put up with whatever. And now no relationship is easy. All relationships have compromise, but there are people that are tolerating things that aren't safe, that are in situations that are not okay. And I think when you set a boundary and if it doesn't go well, because normally if I tell my friend like, hey, I'd really appreciate it if you called sometimes or something, or I don't know, like if I set a boundary with them and if they don't do it, or if they get mad at me and start gaslighting me for setting a boundary, then that's a problem. And to me, that wouldn't be a true friend.
If you don't, we're going to have an issue. If you see somebody fix it or they even trying to fix it, that's somebody that care. Keep them people around. That's a leaf that's trying to grow up and be something else. You understand? But if you tell somebody that what you're doing is hurting me and I need you to stop it and they keep doing it, they don't care. Move on. Let them go. No matter how much it hurt, let them go. And it'll get easier. I promise you, every day it'll get easier and easier and easier. You just got to make it through. You hear me, son? And see, you got to learn how to be by yourself, son. People have to learn how to be alone. I don't understand all these people. Oh, I need somebody. Lord, where's my man? Lord, where's my woman? That is crazy as hell. If you don't know how to be by yourself, what you gonna do with somebody else? Stop praying about it. Shut up and wait. Go work on you. Hell, that's what that time is for, to get yourself together. I'd rather be in a corner by myself with a puppy and a goldfish and be happy than to be sitting around with somebody in my house. I'm wondering what the hell they there for. You would be surprised the things people put up with just to have somebody to say they love them. I don't understand. I can't live in dysfunction. I'm sorry. I done come through too much, been through too much hell and high water to come there and let you come up in my adult life and when I'm supposed to be at peace and give me all kind of hell. Only two places on this earth you're going to have peace: the grave and your house. Now, if you can't walk up in your house and you ain't got no peace, something wrong. Something wrong. I'm sorry. People be rebuking Satan. I be rebuking Satan and beating the hell out of everything that's up in there till they get out. I'm sorry. You got to go.
Madea. Oh my gosh. And so I really wanted to share that part there because I just think it's really powerful to hear him talk about things from a perspective. And a lot of women resonate with his message. And there are men too, but I would say his audience is probably more female dominated than male. And there were times that he portrayed women as kind of the villain and other times where men were kind of the villain. And his very first play, I think that was The Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Parts of that are based on his lived experience. And he took some creative liberty and all of that. But I think he kind of combined the main character, the woman in that play, to be about his mom, and then the aggressor that, kind of his dad. So I see the question. How do I help my teenagers with a touch of autism with this important life lesson? The lesson that leaving some friends behind is not the end of the world. So that's hard. So the first place to start might be to have the categories of people, because there are a lot of teens, especially in high school, where they just want somebody and they kind of will associate with people that maybe aren't good for them. And before they let those people go, sometimes they have to already have a different crowd ready, because it's painful walking away from a group of friends. That can be a very, very painful thing to do. And so at least knowing, so if I know in my mind this person's a leaf, like they're not a root. So I don't need to share my deepest, darkest inner secrets. I don't need to I don't try to buy their affection or attention. I I'm careful about how much time I'm spending with them. But it is important for me to have somebody to sit with at lunch, because let's say that's what they're doing. Let's say maybe they're talking with them at lunch, but maybe they know in their mind this isn't really a friend. And sometimes talking about those characteristics of like, what does a true friend? Now, this might need to happen with somebody that's not the parent. So it's normal at the age of like 12, 13. It's normal for kids and teens to value what other people say. And I think you mentioned, no, you didn't mention. So you might even show. So Sleepy Valor, you might, sorry, Sleepy Vapor. You might even show them, like there might be a show that has some media. There was a show on Netflix about adults with autism and just kind of them navigating life, navigating trying to be on their own. You might want to watch something like that first to see if it would be appropriate, because sometimes talking about things on a show versus trying to teach them a lesson about their own life, sometimes that can be a little bit more helpful. These are just general tips, general education. I can't help you individually, but those are some of the first things that come to my mind, because with that, I think being able to have a safe community. So I can also try to get them involved in some activities where they might be able to connect with some pro-social peers. But at least them knowing for themselves if this person is a friend or not. Because some people use the term friend way, way, way too loose. So I like to talk with people about associates. Like these are people I just associate with. And then I'm friendly with people, but everybody isn't my friend. And then I have like a small core group of friends. And those are people where we are kind to one another. So I'll be honest, there was a time with my core group of friends, we used to be kind of, but we used it as humor. We would be kind of condescending and we would kind of pick on each other, but it was done like in humor. And we've since moved away from that because, we were able to talk and kind of work through some things where it was like, ooh, that was kind of coming across mean. It wasn't coming across in a way where, because let's say I have a friend that has red hair and we joke about their red hair or something. But let's say that's something that they're kind of sensitive about. Um, Somebody recommended I Am Sam on Netflix. And maybe that red hair thing, maybe that's something that they're sensitive about, but they don't say it. And so that's where I try to not joke about people's appearances or their height or things like that. Now, if they make self-deprecating jokes about themselves, then and if it's funny, I will laugh, but that I'm not the one making those kinds of jokes. And so atypical, yes. So that was the one. That was the one that I was thinking of. I thought atypical because that one follows kind of a high school story, and I think they have like 3 seasons. I've watched all the seasons that they have so far. There's also another one where it's like older teens that have a job coach. That one might have like a British feel or something like that. I love British comedies. I love I forget if that was something in the US because they have this like job coach or this life coach that comes and tries to help them with different things. That one's more from adults. Okay. So they have friends, just more difficulty with the subtle intricacies of friendships. Yeah. So I think with anyone on the spectrum, I think some of those subtle intricacies are going to be a little bit harder. There might be some workbooks if they have a therapist, anything like that. Social skills, as you get older, they get a little bit more nuanced. And then, because as people are 18, let's say moving into adult relationships, because sometimes there are different expectations, there are different things that can come up within adult relationships, but definitely having a safe place where they can, if something doesn't feel right, if something doesn't seem right, having safe people that they can check in with, I think that can be really helpful. So right after this stream, we are going to dive right into and I think it should redirect. We'll see if that happens. The goal was to have it redirect. Let me share this tab. This is so if you're not in a space to talk about like these types of topics. So escaping twin flames, that's going to be our next conversation in just a few minutes. And they're going to be I'm probably going to run the trigger warning banner for that one because I also researched Nexium as well. and just like not like thorough deep dive. I just kind of looked into a few things because somebody mentioned that Jeff reminded them of Keith R from Nexium. And while Jeff and Shalia, they deny all these claims, there are prior survivors of this system that are coming out and talking, and we're going to have that conversation starting in just a few minutes. And so thank you so much for joining me on this Tyler Perry video. If there are other videos like this that you're interested in, please let me know. Somebody mentioned the A Word on BBC. I like BBC. Oh, and then MP3. So yes, I saw it because I think I was playing something, and so I used to listen. I used to have an MP3 player. I probably still have one around here somewhere. So I was in college during the whole Napster thing when we could like, it wasn't not yes. So yes. So I'm gonna take just a few minutes to refresh and get ready because I think this one's gonna take some time. But I hope y'all join me for the next stream. Y'all have a good day.